Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10 Modded Minecraft, where I still have things in my inventory that I forgot to put away. But yeah, that's not what we're going to be worrying about today. Last time we had gotten started on Evilcraft, and we had gotten the Vengeance Orbs. Ooh. These guys over here, Piercing Vengeance Focus. We had gotten 2 of them for the actual All the Mods star for the Oblivion Shard. But then, just going through all the things I'm going to need, I realized, hey, wait a minute, these things are still missing stuff. So there's a little bit more work left to do, more than I had thought. I thought we only had like these items left, but no, we got a few more. We're going to go for these guys before we do these two. Actually, I guess it really doesn't matter now that I'm not really recording any more of the Mine Colonies stuff. So we could go for that, but again, not right now. Today is Evilcraft, focusing on the Lightning Bomb and the Mace of Destruction. Now, for the Lightning Bomb, we actually need to make a Lightning Grenade. And that is with some Ender Pearls and a weather container containing Thunderstruck. To get that, we need When the Rain Begins to Fall and some glowstone dust. We need, this is just a regular weather container, which, My Only Sunshine with water, yeah. So, thankfully, well, I say thankfully, but the sun's going down, so we'll have to wait a little bit. At Evil, we can start with a weather container. We need one of these guys, and we actually need to come over here into the Mine Colonies area, and we need to go to one of these dark temples, which is this guy. You've probably seen these out and about, especially when you were watching, if you were watching the Mine Colonies episodes. But these are pretty abundant. So if you ever run across them, these are part of Evilcraft. They do have some loot in here. Stuff I've already looked at probably 1,000 times and just said, nah, don't want it. But we need that sun to go down real quick. And of course, lag is making it jump back. But once that's done, and it's daytime, we'll be able to use this guy. The sun has risen on a new day, and honestly, it looks really good. Like, this looks picturesque. Hence why I took a picture. But here, we want it to be daytime because we want to gather this sunshine. Because with the sunshine, we can make My Only Sunshine container, which then turns into rainfall, which then turns into Thunderstruck. So we throw this at this guy, and it's going to suck up the charge from this weather. So you can see it's processing on the top, and soon, there we go, it's also now raining. So basically, anytime you're like wanting to change the weather, you can come over to one of these guys. You see, it is taking a moment to charge, but you can come over to these guys, throw a weather container of, say, the My Only Sunshine, if you have one. You can throw it at this, and it'll actually turn it to sunshine. Or, if you had an empty bottle like I just did, you can actually suck up the sunshine and get rain. So these guys are actually really neat for controlling the weather. But that is not what we need this for. We need this to turn into this. And then we need to turn this into this. And then this into these lightning grenades. That's a task. A task? I thought that'd be a quest. Huh. Well, either way, we now want to get some TNT. TNT. And do this and this. And we got a lightning bomb. Now, is that going to be 1 or 2 quests? 2 quests. Now, I am curious about using it, but I do want to at least put one away. It's over here. Right? Yeah. We're right here. This is for the pulsating black hole. So that one's complete. That's just another thing we've knocked off. We're getting so close. But now I'm really curious. We have 7 more of these. Okay, lightning grenade does exactly what it says it does. But now what about the TNT? Okay, I've come a little ways away from the main base because I didn't really want to, you know, screw anything up over there. But I kind of want to do this up here now. This is a floating fortress that I've gone through in the past. I think this is the one actually I showed on camera before. But let's... Oh, no, it's not, because this one still has spawners. But we're going to set that guy there. Take a spell. I do have... Oh, I forgot I had a lightning spell. Fireball. Is that not... Fireball. Maybe I do it on the top. Huh. Okay. I guess we're just gonna need a regular flint and steel. And hit it. Ooh, it's giving off some neat particles. Was that? That was anticlimactic. Well, we're not gonna let one lousy lightning bomb explosion get us down. We're actually gonna come back down here to our evil craft area, which, as you may have noticed in the last time's thumbnail, I did a little bit of decorating. But I didn't actually do it in last time's episode. I did this after the episode, so... But we now need to get the Mace of Destruction, which means we're going to have to go through and get garbanzo beans. And by that, I mean Garmonbosia, which has us going through the different promises of tenacity. So, we did get a gold promise. Now, this guy requires a bowl of promises tier 2. Oh, it requires a bowl of promises. It doesn't require a bowl of promises tier 2. It just requires a bowl. So, let's go make another bowl. And there we go. Bowl of promises tier 1. Now, that is because we do have a promise of tenacity 1 already in here, but I believe to make this... Oh, no, I thought I was going to need to use this to actually use this in the crafting with this. But no, I just need an ender pearl. So, we just do this, and we get a promise of tenacity 2. Which apparently we can't put in at the same time as this one. So we're just going to do that. And there we go. Oh, that's a lot of blood. Thankfully, we do have, you know, undead logs on craft, and they are squeezing down. But I did have a lot of blood in backup, so yeah, these tanks are actually connected. It's not just in reserve here. No, these tanks are filled up with blood in the system, so that's nice. But now this, to get the garbanzo beans, we actually need to upgrade this one more time, which, simple enough, it's a diamond block. So now we just pop that bad boy in there, and we wait the 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, or whatever it was. I keyed. We use time wand. And boom. Diamond Promise Acceptor. This is going to require an Eye of Ender and a Bowl of Promises tier 2. So now we need this. We do this, and hopefully we got enough blood. Yes, we do. And then... Promise of Tenacity 3. We'll just do that. And this now holds 640 buckets of blood. That's a lot of blood. You, sir, couldn't even give that amount of blood. But now that we have that, we can now make this, the Garmonbozia, which is just a whole bunch of crushed dark gems and a vengeance essence. Now, I believe we can actually do that. So, oop, there's a like spike. It was saving the world, so boop, 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 boop. There we go. Materialized vengeance essence. And then, how much did it say this was going to take? It's going to, okay, it only takes 50 buckets, and it only takes a minute. And we only have 25 buckets. Acceleration wand. Okay, so I've just been chilling around the base, just kind of letting things build up as they do. Now, and we've built up enough blood. But I noticed something pretty cool. So I have my night vision goggles on right now. And this is what's allowing me to see, even though it's actually kind of dark in here. Like, there is no actual spots for anything to spawn. But if we look at F3, you can see that, like, in certain areas, it gets down to, like, 3, 4. Oh, there's a 1. Yeah, so this is actually really dark down in here. So let's turn off my night vision and see how actually dark this is. This room was just... I've been living in this room as this. I didn't notice it was this dark because I had my night vision goggles on before, and spoiler alert, relics got reworked. So yeah, all my levels got reset in all my relics, including my night vision goggles. So yeah, they're not as good. They are ability stats. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they give a percentage of brightness. But this room is actually what looks kind of cool with the darkness. Like, yeah, I'm liking it. Especially with, like, the actual glow of that arcane circle. And then if we come down here, this is looking relatively spooky, but because it's not decorated, eh. But then this, this is spooky. But enough spooky. We actually need to do things. So, we have enough blood, so we need to take this in here. And this one only takes 60 seconds, but it also only gives us 1, so we need to make another one of these. Boop, boop. And then we need to make these sticks. So we just, oh, what? Dark stick. Oh, we need to take some undead planks. Do this. We get a couple of sticks. Empowered inverted potentia. Oh. Inverted potentia, empowered. Okay. How do we get this? How do we get this? Okay. Super easy things. Things I didn't account for beforehand, but there we go. Inverted. What? Did I already have one in my inventory? I didn't know realize I had one. Infused with blood to make an ender pearl. Strike with lightning to empower. Oh, we can strike this with lightning. Or throw it in here. Oh, is it going to take 60 things of blood to do this? I think I have enough blood. Well, I just hit a roadblock. I thought it said we could use this. Oh, we're sanguinary environmental accumulator. Oh, I thought I was looking at a blood infuser. I was not. So, yeah. Okay. How do I make this? I need another one of those. I also need an environmental accumulator core. Obtained when breaking a regular environmental accumulator. Do I know by my villages I have to break one? Let's see if I can't just strike this thing with lightning. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my magnet off. I'm gonna throw that guy on the ground. And then lightning bolt. That worked in power. Struck by lightning. And now that I have this, I can now make the mace. Boom. Mace of Destruction. Does need to be filled for the star. I guess it does need to be filled for the star. But that's fine. I think we can just go back over to our evil craft area. And we should just be able to, yep, just be able to right click on the tank and fill it up. Awesome. So, that's another thing from EvilCraft taken care of. That's actually all the stuff from EvilCraft taken care of. So, other than the Eternal Stella, we have pretty much everything for the Oblivion Shard. We completed everything for the Pulsating Black Hole. We even have everything for the Dimensional Seed, the Creative Essence, the Wither Compass. Technically, we don't have everything for the Dragon's Soul, but they're getting rid of Eternal Starlight, so I don't know if I should go down that route or not. So all we're going to be working on is these 3 items here, and these 3 items here. But before we do that, we need to check out the time in this video, because there's been a lot of jump cuts, but I'm not sure how much time this has actually taken me. So let me get to that real quick, and I'll be right back. The time that we have is to actually make the dark tank of Eclipse Ember Fuel. This one's a 2-parter. You'll need a dark tank. Got it. Simple resource, only needing dark gems and iron and glass. You'll need Eclipse Ember Fuel. That's it. Or no, that's not so simple. That's pretty simple. To get it, you can drop Eclipse Ember into liquid void flame fuel. Then to make it refined Eclipse Ember, then you'll need to Shadow Pulse Ghoul to spread to make Eclipse Ember Fuel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can do all that right there. Because if we look up Eclipse Ember Fuel, to make it goo spreading, we need refined. So let's do as that. For that, this is Void Flame Fuel and Eclipse Ember. So these two make that. So, and then to make this is some unrefined Void Flame Fuel next to another one of those things. To make that is Blaze Ember and that. Blaze Ember Fuel is that next to that. And that. is polymorphic into unrefined blaze ember fuel. So these make that, and then this, I believe, is, yeah, just water and polymorphic catalyst. So if we look at just dire things, we have a polymorphic bucket. We need 16 though, but I thought I had this Thought I had this as, oh, it's a very easy recipe. That's why it's just the okay. So we can fix that real quick with a couple of recipes. Okay, after a lot of faffing about and a lot of failed designs, I think I have finally come upon a workable design. So, right now, this looks like a giant mess, but it's actually kind of intelligent. The advanced clicker up here is taking Skulk and putting it into the Shadow Pill's goo. That's all that's doing. Of course, this is just power being transmitted to each of the machines that need it, except for this one. This needed its own power source. But right here, we have the unrefined blaze ember fuel, which actually needs to be changed. I need to change that, because what this actually does is it doesn't make refined unrefined, it makes the blaze ember fuel. Because what happens, or what I'm doing, is I'm dropping a polymorphic and a blaze ember into the water, one after the other. So it'll go poly, it'll go blaze, so it turns it into the unrefined version. Then, because it's right next to the Shadow Post goo, it changes into the refined version, which turns out to be the blaze ember fuel bucket, which then will get sucked up through the collector and will be sent all the way over to storage. So let's edit this just a little bit. And this is a processing pattern. Cancel, shift click, and there. So one of those will equal that. And that is that, I believe. I don't think we'll need anything else, but let's find out. Boop. All right. Blaze. We already have one bucket of it in here. That's because I was doing all the testing and whatnot. But we do that. It turned into the polymorphic. It turned into the unrefined, and is turning into the blaze fuel. So as you can see, it's consuming it, and eventually it'll turn into it. There we go. Which it then gets sucked up by this guy up here, sent in the system, and completes. Yay. And then the water resets because the advanced fluid placer. So all we have to do is we have to do that for all these other ones. So we don't want the refined versions, we want the final versions. So we want to make Void Flame and Eclipse Ember. Now I have a fourth here because I thought there was a fourth I was going to need, but we'll find out later on. But let's go back over to our patterns. At just dire. So first thing we're going to want is the Void Flame fuel as the output. One bucket takes one polymorphic, one blaze ember, and one void flame. Right? I believe so. Void flame fuel? Yes. Okay. That should make the void flame fuel. Now we get rid of that, and we get the Eclipse Ember fuel, and we want to drop in one more item, Eclipse Ember. And that should be it. So we'll place the void fuel there and the eclipse ember here. So what we should see, make sure my magnet's turned off. We will ask for eclipse. Click to autocraft. Just want one bucket of it. Turns into poly. Turns into void. And no. Okay. Drat. Because we did place things way too quickly, it destroyed it. So we are going to have to do this sequentially, and I am going to need more placers. So this guy is actually going to need to just go down. Nope, wrong way. Okay, so it's just going to supply water to there, and then here we're going to supply... Basically, we are copying what we've done upstairs, downstairs. So all of that is basically going to be a copy down there. So let me do a little bit of tweaking real quick. Okay, this took a lot longer than I expected, but it is tweaked, it is finished, and it is working. Like, properly working. Now, unlike our big version up there, actually, you can kind of see the guts. Oop, nope. Tried to turn my backpack on, open my it opened, tried to turn my jetpack on, opened my backpack. But I tried to do the same thing that this is all doing up here, over there, but kind of, one second. As I was saying, it's kind of different because these run on a sequential system. So this detector says, hey, keep running until you reach 2000. Whereas this is just requester based. So these will continuously run. These will only run up until that block is right there. Once that block's there, then it stops. So we have about 32 buckets of Blaze Ember fuel in backlog, which should hopefully be more than enough. Apparently I'm very popular with the family today. Yay! But yeah, this will hold 32 of the Blaze Ember fuel in backlog, and I think this one just won't hold anything because it creates that. So, but what we can do is we can go into here, look up the eclipse. We got 2 buckets already, so let's do a mass craft. We need 14 more buckets. And I think I see the other embers already in there. But that shouldn't be a problem because they'll just sit there and wait for the void flame fuel to kind of go in. So, transforms. Gets picked up, and transformation begins again. Awesome. So this system is working properly, and earlier I was having so many issues because these things are smart, but only as smart as the person using them. And I'm only so smart. But that's going to be about it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I know we did quite a bit of different things. We did a little bit of dyers, did a little bit of blood magic? No, it's not blood magic. That's an entirely different mod. Evil craft, and that included some blood stuff. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dorkman191, and this has been All the Mods 10 Modded Minecraft. Bye, y'all.